My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an author, I'm an addiction recovery coach and a life coach and the host of this show, To Take Your Life Back Today show. I have a letter today from Jacob from Oklahoma. Don't be mad and live with regret. A man's letter to other man tempted to cheat. Jacob left his wife of almost a decade for a woman he had been romancing online. But the grass wasn't green on the other side, he shares. He shares his story with you. I was you 9 years ago. I was married, had been with my wife for 15 years, then I left her 2 months short of our 10-year anniversary. We were parents to two beautiful children who are in their late teens now, but were only 7 and 9 years old when I walked out, Jacob writes. I traveled for work, stayed in a different hotel at least 3 nights a week. That's how I met Eve. We got to know each other over time. We became Facebook friends. We sent messages to each other all day and all night. She was also married and also had 2 kids. We had so much in common. We soon fell in love. I felt like she got me. This was all during a very trying time in my marriage. I wasn't happy. I didn't look forward to going home. My wife had to put on weight, or had put on weight. We hardly ever spoke. She always looked so miserable. Little did I realize I wasn't the reason she was so down and depressed. I didn't pay her any attention. I took her for granted. I was too busy wishing my life was more exciting, being romanced online, spending all my free time thinking how I could get out. I believed she didn't love me. I convinced myself she never cared about me or my needs and wants and wishes. That's all I was a paycheck is what I truly believed. She spent her free time taking care of us, our kids, making our suppers, doing out, washing, making lunches, doing homework, projects, shuttling kids to sports, taking care of all the pets they loved so much, and their friends they took care of, and had a job of her own to top all of that up. She truly was a great person. Every time she spoke to me, all I heard was nagging and whining, and that's what made her unpleasant. My friends, everything I ended up doing with Eve behind her back and after I left my family was all in secret. We argued and fought because we felt unheard by others. And yet, that was all we actually had to do, is to listen to others, to each other. I moved to another province with Eve. My now ex-wife got custody of our kids. I saw them every second weekend, the usual dad setup. New beginnings, life was sweet. Eve and I had an amazing sex life, a connection I believed I never had with my ex. We had a large circle of friends. My family loved her, my kids liked her, but my ex could never bring herself to meet Eve. She felt betrayed, as she should. She was childish, with hurting feelings. She was mean. She never cared about me or my happiness. I didn't care about my ex's feelings when I posted photos of us on Facebook. I had Eve and a whole new life, and it was fantastic. We were together for about 6 or 7 years, but never married. We believed marriage wasn't our thing. I believed that after 15 years with my ex, we'd been given all we could, and our time together was up. There was nothing we could do to salvage our relationship or even our marriage. Eve was my future. Eve was who I should have been a long time ago. Eventually, no matter how well we got along in the beginning, no matter how well I thought she got me, no matter how good the sex was, the honeymoon came to an end. Eve and I started snapping at each other on a daily basis. Little fights here and little fights there. I had a moment of pure realization one night at about 2 a.m. I realized that I missed a woman who I created my first home and family with. I realized that if I treated my ex-wife the way I treated Eve, used the hours I spent wooing Eve on my ex, she'd be bloomed. If I'd stopped being negative about her and our relationship to my family and friends, they wouldn't have been so negative to her, and she wouldn't have pulled away into herself and shielded away. She became someone I convinced myself I no longer knew or got along with because I never gave her time and affection and attention she craved and deserved. I thought I had, but when I got down, really thought about it, it really never happened. I never really let her in. I had ended my marriage years before with a simple decision that she was no longer who I wanted. And I convinced my family and friends the same, that she was no good for me. Regret said sin, but I was wrong. I missed the best years of my kids' life. I missed being a family with them. I let their mother battle with raising them alone. Yes, I felt financially, but I helped financially, but a man living outside his family was no real idea of what the costs are in a single mother. While even I ate steaks on the weekends, my ex-wife was living on egg and toast. And do you know that she never complained? She never demanded more money out of me. She never stopped me from seeing the kids. Never said no if I changed plans on her at the last minute. She gave up her weekend so that my mother could spend time with her grandchildren. She left me to get on with my life. Even thought it must have killed her. Like any relationship, it started out good, great in fact, but when it got bad, I decided to leave. I walked out and divorced a woman who I can only say this now, would have done anything for me. But I told myself she wouldn't or couldn't. My ex-wife stayed single for 8 years. She dated but never got involved. Her being single was also a kind of affirmation for me that no one wanted her. That everything I decided she lacked, so did other men. She actually stayed single to focus on her children. Too late. And then came the day she met Craig. I never thought it would bug me in the way if she had a boyfriend. I thought it would be great, but I was very, very wrong. I felt hurt. I felt jealous. I even felt angry and maybe betrayed. She moved in with Craig, along with my kids. She set up a new home, a new family with my kids. It was a very bitter pill to swallow. I finally understood how she felt all these years, and it felt rotten. I watched via Facebook and through conversations with our mutual friends how Craig spoiled her and her kids, and our kids, I should say. Their weekends were spent on the beach. He surfed with my son. They went hiking. They went to all sorts of mountains. They went kayaking. And she got married after he proposed. My daughter was a bridesmaid. My son was a groomsman. Craig's parents and brother welcomed my ex-wife and children into their family. They told everyone how blessed they were to be gaining them as a family. She glowed with happiness. She radiated love, and none of it was for me. My heart felt like it had been ripped out. It should have been me. Don't be me. You think you will never be happy when you are in a rut? It is when you are there at your darkest that you need to grip down and try your hardest. Today, I live alone. I still see my kids occasionally. They are big now and harbor anger towards me for leaving them and for leaving their mother. Who can blame them? All of the things Eve was, she was never the mother. My original true love. Names have changed. Photos used in the story are stock images, not of one but of the other on Facebook. This story is what I wanted to have and share with everybody. My name, he writes, is Jacob, and I'm from Oklahoma, and I want you to please, please don't always think that the grass is green on the other side, because it's not. You can always count on failure when it comes to cheating. Call me at 844-405-HELP. Together we can help each other take our lives back. Be good to yourselves and be good to others. And a simple smile to a total stranger can change their life and even change your life. Folks, stories like Jacob, who wrote into me, can be heard with your story. Just write into me. You can find me anywhere on social media. May God bless you. May God bless America. And may God bless you, Jacob. And it's a tough lesson you learned, but God loves you. Take good care, Jacob. Take good care, my